I'm TCF Live. I'm checking in with Sheen Magazine. I'm from Chicago. A little bit about what I do. I'm a writer, a rapper, also producer. I tap into a couple different bags, you know what I mean, especially on the writing side. Trying to find ways to, put a lot of other people in position as well as myself, using my pen and my many attributes. Well, the way my journey kind of started in the music industry was basically, more or less like from a troubled background, but I kind of focused on channeling my energy into something that'll keep me kind of out of trouble and out the way. I come from a long line of music backgrounds, my grandmother and my grandfather as well. But for the most part, it's a way to kind of express how I feel without having to put my hands on people. I would like to say, the reason why it's important to kind of, help aid and, carry on the legacy of my city is mainly because, we had the wave for a while, but I feel like we kind of a melting pot of all the states and places around us. So to be honest with you, we have a lot of hidden gems and hidden talents on different levels. So not even just the drill scene, which you know us for. Not everybody's a backpacker, you know what I'm saying, with some high socks on. But for the most part, like, we having a lot of dope music, you know what I mean? So we got a little bit of New York, we got a little bit of down south, we got a little bit of the West Coast, and then we got just us, period. So we put everything together and try to make the best wave of sound. Well, to keep your peace and remain focused, those are two different things. So you ain't never gonna get your peace in Chicago at all whatsoever. Like, it's always gonna be somebody that's tiptoeing around, you know what I mean? But to remain focused, it's kind of like you kind of got to see what you want more. Like, I had to personally, separate myself from certain situations to make sure I wasn't steady going in the same path. But it's tough. Like, it's tough. We got one of the meanest cities. I ain't gonna never take nothing away from nobody else's city, but it's tough. But as long as you dedicated, you determined, you know what I mean, you could get in a good position. So my musical process, to be honest with you, like, I'm big on talent. So it's like you gotta have talent, but I gotta like you as a person. If I don't like you, I don't care how cold you is. Like, you could be the dopest person. If I don't like you, like, you're beat. One of my engineers, her name's K Sound, super cold. Her work ethic is impeccable. You know what I mean? I'm always big on feedback and understanding other different genres and different music. The same thing with producers like my boy PD or other songwriters like, my homie Geronimo or RJ The Voice. Like, these are people that I enjoy being around as, as a friend, as a family member. So it's like, you can be as cold as you want to, but if you ain't had that, if you're not humble or you don't have that drive, I see that, it's dead for you. You can submit all the stuff in the world, like, if I don't know you, you're beat. Well, yeah, I can name drop for you. A lot of situations occur for me being really like a street individual. You build your rapport, you build a good name for yourself and who you are as a person. And if you have talent, that kind of just, puts you in the right direction. I do have, assistants on production for Juice World, you know what I mean? But the record was originally my record. My homie was in a position to kind of, play a couple records for him. Told him to play the record. He ended up hopping on the record and ended up being in the Spider-Man movie, being a really, really big record. The Chris Brown situation that I worked on, which was also fabulous, and Tiana Taylor, that was assisted by my boy Josh K as well. He's also signed to Fab, so he chimed me in like, yo, I need your help, to kind of make this pop, and I put my touches on it to give it what it really needed, you know what I mean? Okay, so to really, really tap into that, like, Duck was my homie, like, we was cool. I kind of, I took a little vacation time and I came home and he had the city going crazy. The reason why we was connected because I had a homie named Smiles that kind of passed away when I was gone, but he he locked in with me because he seen similar characteristics that Smiles had. Like, yo, I rock with you. So we locked in on records. Me and Rooga didn't initially know each other. You know what I mean? We it was always respect because we come from similar backgrounds. But when we decided to come together, you know, and it was something represented for Duck. You know what I mean? He was all for it, and he's still a solid dude to this day. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be doing some stuff for him and Ye pretty soon too, though. So that's a good look. So to be honest with you, to give you just a full, you know what I'm saying, full vision of how everything that I do, I really come off the top with. So I'm really good at freestyling. You know what I mean? But due to bro passing away, I had a record that I wrote, and I gave to my artist RJ the Voice. He's a singer, and I just felt like, you know, since I gave that kind of away, I felt like I didn't do my due diligence as a homie to like really, you know what I'm saying, pay homage. So what I decided to do was, you know, kind of pay homage to his flow that, you know, everybody loved and they respect so much. So I was like, you know what, let me tap into bro bag real quick and show some love to him. And Rooga loved it. He was like, you know, it made him feel like Duck was still here. You know what I mean? And that was the main goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because he gone don't mean he gone. You know what I mean? He's still in me. He's still in you and people who associated with him. Regardless of who hate on him, who dislike him, whatever, like, he impacted the city really well. You know what I'm saying? He made my side of the fence look good. So I feel like it's a lot of confusion. Like, I feel like it's a lot of confusion because people don't know how to cipher the difference between reality and what music is. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm about my business and I'm gonna stand on my business. But at the same time, it's like we got so many people who think, man, I gotta go do something to somebody, make a song about it to make it popular and make it relevant. When in actuality, like, a good record gonna be a good record regardless. Like, I wasn't trapping, but I was listening to Jeezy. I ain't never sold a brick or nothing. You know what? I did sell lemonade as a kid, so maybe you know what I'm saying. But I was listening to Jeezy at the time. You know what I mean? So, but it's just real tough. Like, if you live in it, it's cool. But now it's come to the point where, like, people are living and entertained by us really being into it. You know what I mean? It's not half the time we into it. Like, there's no real reason. Like, why he got killed ain't no real reason. Why he got shot ain't no real reason behind it. But I feel like the Drill C really impacted the world. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, because, you know, respects to Keith and JoJo, when they came out, everybody else was around. They was watching and the true behind the stories, but at the same time, like, you heard records like, you know, French Montana records, and you heard Big Sean tapping into the bag, and we had the wave that really impacted the world in a different way, you know? So Sucker Sam, so I previously dropped a record called Sam's Story. There's no relation to the stories. They both said Sam, so people always think Sam's Story was just a true story about my homie. That's on the run right now. Run, fool. But Sucker Sam was mainly because Sucker Sam was mainly because, you know, you would just see a lot of situations that are like real toxic. If it's a toxic female or a toxic nigga, and I've always seen, you know, some homies, some people that want homies. I ain't put my hands on people just based on people thinking that something that wasn't. So, you know, just to give a little hindsight, is like, you know, you kind of got to really know what you're talking about. You can't go off assumption, because if you go off assumption, you're going to put yourself in a bad position, in a bad predicament. And plenty of people do it all the time. Women, men, they end up dead or end up with an L based on, you know, just assuming something. So to be honest with you, and this is gonna be forever. I don't care who get involved, but like, I'm hands on with my work. So when it comes to screenplay, screenwriting, the ideas, concepts behind it, it's always gonna be me. Um, I just wanted people to see it from the point of view of the actual person who was out here assuming and put himself in a bad situation. You know what I mean? I wanted you to experience that, you know what I mean? Because I felt like if you experienced it, you're going to be like, you know what, let me ask questions to make sure I ain't do something just in case I might end up in a bad position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah,
You did a good job executing that.
I appreciate it.
Um,
Um, what I'm currently working on in my next project, it'll probably be, I got a record I got called Gratitude that's dropping for Thanksgiving. Um, just to kind of go with the Thanksgiving vibe. And it's just I'm paying homage to a couple of close homies, the Smiles, when I brought them up earlier. Um, you know, just being thankful. And, you know, I like to preach a message of, you know, the only way I'm eating if my team gonna eat. You know, when I came here, you see I got my team with me. You know what I mean? So I got my people around me, you know. I got your girl Raven. That's part of the team. She A1 day one. So I really just, for that particular record, I really want people to know, like, whatever position I put myself in, like, I'm gonna make a way. Like, that's what family do. That's what real people do. You aid and assist people that you love and you care about. Put them in a position. If they jack the position, that's on them. But you did your job as a person. But project-wise, it's tough. It's tough because I got so many different bags. You know what I mean? So I'm working on a project with my release records and maybe a couple more to kind of, you know, appease my fans as well. But I'm also working on something that they ain't never heard from me before. You know what I mean? That's just straight drop, like it's just raw music in general. You can follow me on Instagram, which is TCF Live. As far as any music that you're looking for, it's on all social media platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you know, you can find. Type in TCF Live. When you get there, you're gonna stay there.